Hello, John with Theology Ed again. Let's go ahead and look again at IPECO 2. So this time we're going to start with a question basically that John Smith, a commenter, asked. He was asking for insight about the LOL, thinking that people have been passing over it quickly, and I thought that's a pretty good idea. Maybe we should look into that more and make a video. I'd like to make a video if I have something interesting to say. And if you take a look at the LOL, I'm going to put this all together, we'll see. It's actually depicting an eclipse. This is the very first scene, first time we see the LOL, the first frame, basically. Okay, it is sitting right here on the word evolution, and notice the O in LOL is over the O in the word on the board. Now, I said evolution. I think I said evolution. It's not the word evolution, probably. First off, if it was, somebody guessed an O already, and we have no O over here, so that's a problem. Secondly, if you look, these letters EVO are lowercase. The L is capitalized. This looks like a capital T or a capital I, and this is a capital N. My suspicion is that we're supposed to go from right to left. I'm confident we're supposed to go right to left. I'll explain that. But so the N is probably the first letter of a word. The T or I, a second word, capitalized, beginning word, just like the L is the capital letter in the beginning of the word love. And so it's something like, I don't know, not in love would be one option, right? But then we'd still have the O issue. It could be Nuit's love. Sounds funny, but Nuit is an Egyptian deity who's important, the sky deity, who fell in love with Thoth, the moon god, and many important deities derive from them. So it could be, Nuit's love, which would be something like the moon, okay? The moon or the moon god. And so some sort of invocation or direct looking towards that. But love is there, and certainly without the letters filled in, it's very natural to see not love, not love. And that seems right for reasons I don't know if I'll explain it. Not love is going to look reasonable because we have the hearts to the right. If you can't see them right now, but if you remember the chalkboard, you remember there are three hearts to the right, just above the to the right and above the N. Okay, but we have these hearts, and it's saying those aren't representing love. That's I think a reasonable reading. I think J.K. Bugout mentioned that at one point. Then we go over, but another reason why I know I'm really confident about the LOVE, reading it in reverse like that, is that it is this LOL looks like a 101 as well, okay? And if you know, in ancient languages, Greek, letters represented numbers. So every word had a number. Agape is the word for love. There's actually more than one, but it is a key word for love, and it represents 101. I think they're putting the 101 over here to represent love, at least as a secondary way of doing things here, to sort of say, hey, look, yeah, this is actually love. Now, also, I was reading, I'm not into the numerology stuff, but 101 apparently, because it's two ones in the number, they're like two units and they're getting together or something, so it's often associated with romance and love. Okay, so this reading of love has a lot of support here. One being just the capital letter at the beginning of each word, or at the beginning of the word, and the lowercase rest of the way. Secondly, this 101. Thirdly, relationship to heart. The 101 meaning agape, and also the 101 having a numerological meaning of involving romance or love. Various ways we get confirmation that we're going in the right direction when we go from right to left reading there. But that's going to become even more important in a second. Watch carefully, though. What we have is an eclipse. We have the O over the O. This is the ring within a ring, just like our other rings throughout the video that are representing the annular eclipse. Now, on June 21st, 2020, this year, Father's Day, solstice, annular eclipse. Watch the motion after this. So we're going to watch the eclipse to the after eclipse, just like everything else has been, where we have the eclipse and then the eyes to the moon, the eclipse and then what's coming after it. Okay, now look, we have this. Keep an eye on it as it slides up the screen. See? You see the motion of the eclipse to post-eclipse. It's like the doorknob passing the hole on the goat's shed or goat's house or whatever it is. And so it's this motion. It starts there and then it moves off. And we look at what's going on after. Now, when we see this, now we're looking at the board from right to left. We can start to put this together a little bit, I think. We have hearts up here, not in this shot, but they're up there in the upper right. We have not love. We have the eclipse, but we have over here the hearts. This side is, loving. We even have a heart down here. Okay? We go from right to the eclipse, and then things change. We get below it, we get a dragon, and we get all this bad stuff. We get the hangman. So executions going on. We have this shark. What is the shark, people? I'm not going to... when I get to this in the IPEC Goat Explained series, I'll try to go into more detail of all the symbolism as far as I can. I'm still studying it. I've learned some stuff. I know some stuff I'm not saying. And then there's other things I just don't know yet. But the shark, one thing that I suspect, if you look carefully at it, what's it doing? It is hopping out of the water. That's not how a shark is in the water, obviously. This is a shark coming out of the water. This is a beast coming out of the sea. Okay? Secondly, not only is it like a beast coming out of the sea, it is in the shape of a crescent moon. Again. See? And instead of having the old man sleeping in there in the crescent moon, we've got a devouring shark with teeth ready to tear you up. Okay, and if there's any doubt about it, they made sure everything is crescent-ish. Okay, so we've got our crescent shark. So we have our eclipse. Maybe this is a progression, eclipse to the crescent moon period from June 21st to about June 28th, 27th, 28th. That comes up, and possibly in various ways to crescent moons coming up. We know we have on the goat shed, what do we have? We have the eclipse passes, the doorknob goes out from in front, the light comes on, and what do we see? The black sun, which would be the new black sun happens on an eclipse day, which would be like a new moon, and then we have the crescent to the right, and then we see that. So there seems possibly to be something going on from eclipse to crescent moon here, but we have the eclipse to the shark coming out of the water, to this home being destroyed. In other words, love, eclipse happens, following progression, it looks like following progression of the moon again into all this destruction. Okay? Now, it doesn't just end here with this eclipse scene. This is the transition from Obama to the calendar, the classroom kids that represent months and the eclipse and alignments, the girl in the front. Watch carefully as we transition. It goes up. Oh, let me play here. Okay. Goes up. There's our, so we're watching the eclipse passing. There's your hearts there in the screen now. Okay. Goes up. And we get the girl right away. Now look at the speed at which she moves her head and the O on top of O. Go up. She's... Okay, I went too far back. She's a continuation of it. And she has on her cheek the eclipse as well. We're getting the angle that we can actually see the eclipse on her. We're watching again the sequence. We're supposed to be paying attention to the eclipse and what's coming after it and all of this. We're getting different perspectives on the eclipse, different angles. On the chalkboard we get to see before it is love, the eclipse is not love, and then after it is bad things, okay? Then we transition to her, again, looking right at the eclipse on her cheek as her head rises up, continuing this motion, just like the LOL rises up, and we get a different perspective on her. Because this scene here, from this angle, looking at her left cheek, we only get this for a couple seconds, okay? And then it goes on to the rest of the classroom where she's head on and we see the whole classroom. What's also interesting about this perspective, this little brief moment where we see the eclipse go up, is look, hold on, we've got the eclipse. Let me get a different place to pause it. Okay, one sec. So let's see the eclipse go on. Here she is. Okay, so she's down with her head down. This is the only time we can see June directly. Okay, in other perspective, other views, June is mostly blocked. You don't get to see June's body. And June's body looks totally different than the other ones. Okay? We have these lines going across. If you look closely, there are lines going across and then a connection to the arm. Okay? This looks like one of those body casts to me. I don't know. So I think I put a screenshot here. Yeah. It looks like one of these body casts. Right? This sort of thing where when your arm is broken, they want to immobilize it all the way up to the shoulder or all the way through and keep it attached to your body so you're not doing anything to cause more harm. Okay? That's what that sort of looks like to me. I'm not positive of that, but that's what it looks like to me. Let me get out of there. Yeah, there. So you see it? Goes over. It's like this guy's cast it up. So June is hurt. Now, it's not just June. If you look at the only time you get a perspective of June, where June is hurt like this, what do you have? The eclipse to the left of June. My guess is that that's sort of a way of saying that this is going to be after the eclipse, not before the eclipse. I don't know. I mean, again, this is speculative. I'm just throwing out possibilities here based on what it looks like we're seeing. So we get June injured, hurt. It reminds me of the First We Take Manhattan song by Leonard Cohen, which talks about it's Father's Day and everybody's wounded, okay? Here's June. That's the Father's Day solstice eclipse, the signal in the heaven, and everybody's wounded. We have a month of wounding, I don't know, at least the last part. Here's the perspective of the eclipse. To the right of it is June injured. Now, look over at July. I think July is interesting. Remember, the buck moon, here the buck is right overhead of the moon to really connect the buck and the moon, and the kid's head here. I think we're looking at, supposed to be, in a sense, looking at the moon here. And what you have, that moon is the buck moon is a penumbral eclipse. Okay, on July 5th, we will have another eclipse. We have an eclipse on June 5th, a penumbral eclipse. That's a lunar. We have a solar June 21st solstice eclipse, and then that's followed by immediately another penumbral eclipse on the buck moon on July 5th. Now, look at how this is interesting. Just saw this with June too. But look at June when she raises her head. June, the head there is eclipsed, and we get this nice line through here, cutting it off under 50%. The eclipse is less than 50% of the July moon. Then again, what you can say, oh, is this eclipse too? That's April. No. And I don't know what the scratches are in April. So just an idea. But what we have here that's, I think, more important, something a little clearer. Oops, went too far back again. Sorry. Okay, was we've got the injured June, the cast, and then over here, look at the position here. What is going on with the hands and arms? That's a really weird posture. Okay, putting the elbow. Try to do this physically right now. Put your elbows together under your chin, and then put your hands on your face. And it's hard to put the elbows together at the same time you're doing that. I mean, maybe it's harder for me than you if we have different body shapes or something. But I almost can't do it. It's really tight. So it's not a comfortable position. I think, again, what we're looking at here is some symbolism. In this case, it reminds me of the St. John the Divine Cathedral prophetic pillar with the baby being birthed out of a lily or lotus flower with the spiral beneath it and crushing the lamb. Okay, that's what it reminds me of. If you look, let me see, I put it in here. I want to make this comparison. Right, where's it at? Come on, there. See, the head coming out of the flower and crushing. Now, crushing the lamb, and here's your spiral representing new birth. The girl in this scene, her name, according to the Heliofont site, is Lily. I believe is what they said, Lily. It's a Lilith. That's who she is. She's representing a Lilith. Lilith is a magician. If you look closely, not only is she an eclipse, she's in a magic circle. Okay, that's how magicians, witches or whatnot, do their magic. They get in the circle to protect them from things crossing into their space. So on the board, we have a, let me go back to the board. I'll come back to this in a second. Where am I? I'm at 46 seconds. On the board, we can't see it very well. Oh, here. We have here the triangle with the circle in the middle. That is a symbol that's one of the most powerful in ritual magic. That's the triangle, I think is what it's called, of Solomon. Okay. And let's see. Yeah, so the triangle, I don't have it written down here. I wasn't planning on mentioning this. I want to give credit to the site, the Open Scroll, blogspot.com, has a article which mentions this, that it is, let's see, I want to present you further evidence. I'm reading from this blog, the Open Scroll. This article is really interesting, the blog at blogspot.com. I want to present yet further evidence of spell casting concealed in the burning house drawn on the blackboard. The roof of the house has a squared circle inside, which is the essential form of the magic circle. The circle inside the triangle roof suggests the Triangle of Solomon, which is also called the Triangle of the Arts. This is said to be the second most important tool for the conjuring magician next to the magic circle. This has to sit outside the circle, perhaps just a few feet away. Demons conjured will appear in the triangle, according to one magician, and so on. Okay. Some magicians, such as the great Crowley, they don't only call him great, but that's what this guy said. Not the article writer, but he's quoting somebody else. The great Crowley would use fresh blood of a sacrificed animal in the triangle to attract the demon. For blood is the life force, and demons thrive on it, and so on. Okay, and so we have up here. You have the Triangle of the Arts, or the Triangle of Solomon, which is the second most important symbol related to ritual magic in a conjuring situation, with the circle, the magic circle, being occupied by the witch, the magician. Okay, so here is our magician, the witch, if you want to think of her that way, but she's a goddess. This is Lilith. She's called Lily by the creators, who's known for her magic powers and also for her bringing about new life, birthing. She is in the circle, and the magic circle with all the circumstances just right, and it would make sense that you'd have the lily and a birthing in relation to her. She is known for, said to have, she's said to fertilize herself with male sperm to bring forth demons, to give birth to demons. Okay, and her flower is the lotus and the lily. Okay, so it's always associated with her and the birthing and this mothering and so on. And so this birthing of the demon, okay, or this wicked one, in here, this is the lily or lotus, right? And we have the birthing from it. This is an act of a mothering act of Lilith. Okay, that's what's going on. We're birthing. We're saying birthing, a new birth, resurrection, or new birth, coming out of the lily plant, lily flower, associated with Lilith, who is really, really bad, a wicked magician, and so on. In her magic circle, with the triangle of Solomon nearby, conjuring. So this indicates this is a conjuring ritual. Okay. All right. And that's probably why outside the demon is in the clouds grabbing the buck moon. Right? If she's conjuring demons and they come, and she's conjuring this is some sort of a spell done probably at the eclipse, some sort of ritual done at the eclipse in order to make something happen near the buck moon. Okay, just speculation ideas. But here's what you're looking at, though. Associated with this buck moon in July, it looks like a birthing of whatever it is that is the evil that's supposed to be brought onto the world. I don't know what that would be. I don't even know that means we're going to see events right away. Maybe this is all spiritual for them right now. Maybe this is the beginning spiritually of a new phase, right? It's very possible nothing happens in the world, but they have their rituals going on in preparation for a period of time after it. Okay? So again, this is why it's important not to get caught up in, we've mentioned and we see all over the place, the eclipse June 21st, the buck moon July 5th, the crescent moon between them, somewhere between June 21st and June 28th or so. And we see all this and we're going to say, this is all going to happen. And then July 5th comes and nothing happened yet. And we're like, oh man, that was stupid. Now I'm embarrassed. I'm not going to be embarrassed because I'm still seeing this here. And so what we're trying to do is understand the video, and we're just going to have to observe in reality how they actually do their things. Okay? What we do know is we have very evil ritual magic going on associated with this eclipse, the buck moon, false flag attacks coming, changing of the world, persecution of people in camps. We have a lot of awful things happening. And that's what they want to happen. And they're invoking demons. They want them to come along to do this. Okay? And so this is important to keep in mind. Interestingly, another commenter, I feel bad. Who was it? It was a really insightful comment as well. It was a little different, but he mentioned how the rabbit, he thought the rabbit was Easter. I don't agree with that. But he mentioned how you have a timeline, possibly in the back here, where before Easter, it's all tranquil and nice grass, and then after, you get a bunch of ivy. It's wild, it's chaotic, it's like everything's been destroyed. If you look at the board, it's sort of like that, right? You have hearts on the one side, you get to the eclipse, and the time after the eclipse as it rises, we're going over, and what do we have? We got chaos on the after side. Okay? Now, what's interesting about that, that's going to be a hard spot to find. There it is. Okay, what's interesting about that is if we don't look at that as Easter, but we look at that as the buck moon, so we basically have eclipse, buck moon, and we get a parallel with the chalkboard, going from hearts, tranquility, this event, chaos. Okay? So the chaos doesn't necessarily happen right there. It's the after. It's the time after. Okay? Okay, so there you have it. I think I've covered everything I was wanting to cover or planning on covering. So like, subscribe, share. Go watch my other videos on this. There's the first one I did on June 21st explains a lot and connects this with other, explains the calendar better and connects it with other, like The Simpsons and this First We Take Manhattan, which I already mentioned, and it ties things together and shows you the importance of this solstice Father's Day annular eclipse that's coming this year, okay? And the buck moon that follows. So, all right, take care.